What's up, Internet? Welcome to Once Over. I'm Kaylee, and with me today are Jay, Malcolm, and Big C from Pornstache Podcast. And today we're going to be giving the once over to Porky's 4 or Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee. I don't even know. Oh my God. Whatever the fourth generation of this movie is that came out in 2009 or possibly 2008. I'm not actually 100% sure.
Big Pimpin' Pee-wee.
Give it a good once-over.
Giving us the once-over.
Giving him the once-over.
Give me a once-over.
Down to give us the once-over.
For a routine once-over.
Once-over.
Oh, just once over lightly.
So the question between 2009 and 2008, I think, is actually kind of interesting because everything says 2009, but if you watch the movie all the way through to the credits, it says 2008. And I was like, I bet you just could not get any distribution for this because your movie was so incredibly great. It was just great and everybody wanted it. Thank you guys so much for coming to join me for this movie. We have been covering all of the Porky's series. Over on your channel, we've covered both Porky's 1 and Porky's 3, and you guys joined me on my channel to talk about Porky's 2. So if any of our listeners here have not listened to those reviews, you should absolutely go and check them out. I will link them all down below. Make sure while you're over there that you are subscribing to Pornstache Podcast. They are doing some awesome stuff. Lots of porn stuff, lots of smutty stuff, lots of porn-ish movie stuff, and it is absolutely wonderful. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you for having us.
And we're talking about, of course, the best movie in the series, right?
Well, yeah,
Right?
You definitely got the better two of the series on your channel, right?
Oh, please. Let's debate that at the end about how we're going to rank all of these movies now that we've seen them all. I will be honest, I never thought in a million years that I would watch all 4 of the Porky's movies.
I didn't know there was a 4th movie until Malcolm informed us of it, a month ago?
Something like that.
So we can blame Malcolm for this.
Yay.
This movie was directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, who is also the genius behind both Leprechaun 3 and Leprechaun 4, the Leprechaun in Space. He also did Night of the Demons.
Hey, Johnny boy! Heads up! Want to shoot some hoop?
BMX Bandits.
Everywhere I look, behind curtains.
And Stunt Rock, which is actually really awesome. I think we can all agree none of us had heard of this movie before. Is that right?
No.
Never.
Correct. Stumbled on it by accident.
I think obscure is not even the term for it because of how obscure it is. It's controversial because it follows up the shadow of the 80s sex comedies that was Porky's. And it basically just tries to capitalize on like that crude humor, the raunchy antics, all of that stuff that was wonderful about the Porky's franchise. But I don't know that it necessarily succeeds, especially because it doesn't have any of the original cast members.
On top of that, they make the characters that you have that like already existed. Sorry for lack of a better word, but they made meat kind of retarded in this one. And I don't know. I hated the casting on this. I'm just going to say that for now. I wish they would have brought somebody back and did not do a reboot, like a continuation. Pee-wee could have been a coach. Pee-wee could have been something to do with the movie. They could have brought back, well, I think Tommy is having like major health issues around this time, but Pee-wee was still okay to do a movie. He could have been their teacher, damn it.
They originally created this movie thinking that it was going to follow the boys into their college years. So specifically Pee-wee, Meat, and Tommy into their college years. Yeah. But effectively what they do is they create Pee-wee's Porn House is what I feel like they should have called this movie.
I think they did call it that. Like, isn't that what they called the house?
Pee-wee's Porn House opens Friday.
That's a good question.
I don't even remember what was on the dang flyers.
Fuck, what did they call it? I don't remember.
Paul Rubens would be jealous.
Paul Rubens probably never heard of this movie before he died either. So
what? Touche. You are certainly correct. I think that as we start talking about this movie, we should try to answer a question about this, which is, did this movie live up to the hype or even any of like the legacy that the original series created, or was this just entirely out of left field and it might as well not exist?
I think it is basically all out of left field. The only thing that it took from the first movie and they just crammed it into the very, very first scene. Starts off with the peephole.
Come on.
And you're like, okay. But then you realize it's a Pee-wee dream. I'm like, oh, okay. So they took the dream, they took the peephole, they combined it in one. We're going to have a continuation of the Porky series. That's the only real reference to the first movies that made it feel Porky's to me. I actually thought it was going to be a good movie after the first scene.
That first scene is definitely interesting. Like you said, we get the peephole, we get girls in the shower. All the girls that are butt naked in this scene, very different body types. Mm-hmm. We get a little bit of everything. And then Pee-wee in the dream comes and dances around like an idiot in a football swimsuit. Wearing that dumb swimsuit.
After he teleported into the shower.
That's like how he thinks he looks the coolest. And he does not look cool at all in this film. I think, again, as we're kind of talking about this movie, the most important thing to do is talk about how the characters really have developed or not developed. Perhaps in this case. So Pee-wee is played by Adam Wiley, who is known for doing some voice acting. He played Curly in Hey Arnold.
Ooh, you pretty princess. Your mink is so soft, so inviting.
And also some kid in All Dogs Go to Heaven too. He looks kind of like a poor man's Zach Ward.
Come on, cry!
Or a little bit like Tom York.
Hello, I'm Tom York.
And he's just the nerdiest guy. He like drives a moped and he wears those like dumb colored goggles. He's got a flame helmet. He's got like jack-o'-lantern shoes. It's what was like your thought about his general appearance?
It was just great. Like, oh, we just got to make him dorky. It's overdid it.
They went over like overly too much on the dorky aspect. And I think that instead of just having Pee-wee be this short, outgoing spaz of a kid, now they have him. He's just a gigantic dork out of nowhere. And I'm like, I didn't feel like that was what Pee-wee was in the first couple or in the original movies. So they just, like I said, they rewrote every character here. This isn't Porky's. They shouldn't have called it Porky's. It could have been something else. But
this is, Mom, I want to watch Porky's. We have Porky's at home. This is Porky's at home.
You said something about the way Pee-wee looks. I have this in my notes, but Pee-wee looks like that kid from Malcolm in the Middle, like the Dewey, the little one.
Yeah,
it looks like if he grew up, that
does.
looks just like him, like an older version.
I can
He was
see
the
it.
star in what I think is Disney's first Disney original TV movie, Under Wraps. Does anyone remember that one?
No.
You're wearing a bra?
I do not remember that even in the slightest. As long as we're kind of introducing the characters, let's talk about the other boys. So we also have Tommy. I was so confused by him because I just thought that he was gay for the whole movie.
Sorry, you just don't seem like the type to come to Porky's.
And then he also, like, he has this, like, constant, he, like, looks like he's scheming, like he's evil about everything. Like, I wasn't sure what the conflict of the film was going to be, and I was pretty convinced that it was going to be something to do with both him being gay and him having some sort of evil side plot.
That would be way too much story for this film, but it would have been interesting.
He looks evil, dang it. And again, the reason that I thought he was gay is like the whole beginning of the film, once they finally do go to Porky's, he's like not interested in any of the women. Like he keeps turning everybody down.
No, I'm good. Got laid yesterday morning.
Yeah, his reasoning was, I fucked last night. I don't have to do it again. I'm good.
Said
That's
no man.
literally
ever.
what he said.
Oh, yeah.
Which, if I did it last night, yeah, I'll do it again.
I could have done it 5
it's
minutes
like
ago,
pizza.
and if you throw some pussy at me, I'm going to take it.
That was exactly why I was so convinced that he was gay, because I was like, that's not a thing that a guy says. Like, what are you talking about? I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
You say it when you're 40. You don't say it when you're 20.
We also have Meat. Meat is, I guess, kind of similar to how he was. He's got a big penis, and that's like his character trope.
I don't know. This is going to give me stretch marks.
He wasn't that stupid before.
Yeah.
He was stupid in the third one. They made him pretty dumb in the third one.
Well, in the first one though, he got turned down by Yale or Princeton or something. So he's not stupid if he's applying at those places.
Well, his debt kept growing. It's like so it just took away from his brain power has gotten less in each episode.
The blood flow to his dick is causing him to become okay. That makes sense, being that they definitely made his dick in this one 10 times larger than before.
Gigantic. Like, terrifyingly large.
It's like a goddamn cartoon. How big this is.
Does the term log splitter mean anything to you?
I will say, though, Jay, I think that you brought this up as an issue with Porky's 3, Porky's Revenge, which we talked about on your channel. You said that you hated that they didn't address the fact that some of the school teachers weren't there.
Yeah, that was on the next day.
Yeah, that's the next day.
And that was like driving you crazy. You brought it up several times.
Yes.
So did you like the fact that they explained why Wendy was not in this movie?
Well, I heard Wendy went to Italy for the summer with a new boyfriend. God, I'm going to miss those taters.
I like the fact that they actually did try to explain why Wendy wasn't here, but it's still kind of confusing. Like, so that seems to be the only thing that they took from the original movie and decided to make us a continuation of the movie. It's like, oh, Pee-wee fucked Wendy. That's it. Yep. That's the whole story there. So it's like 2 and 3 don't exist, and they can say that's the movie. I'm confused on this part, though. So is this supposed to be a reboot, or is this a sequel?
I have no idea.
Sequel.
See, this is why we need Doc Brown to explain parallel universes, because that's what this is. This is.
But to Jay's point, there's a glaring issue in this whole goddamn movie. Everyone has cell phones, okay? Mm-hmm. And the cell phones that were around in 2008, the first movie took place in the fucking 50s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is 50 years fucking later. And they're 24 max. Like, at the oldest they could possibly fucking be is 24. 50 years later?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
No, it's supposed to be a sequel, but this is happening in a parallel universe.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Halloween series, trying to explain how they go. Just where does this Porky's fall in line, technically?
At least the Halloween stuff was the timeline, distance of time. And I have a theory of what the catalyst that broke this parallel universe. I'll hold for my final thoughts.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear it. There was a lot of issues with making this movie and how it came out. So that is probably why some of it is such gigantic trash. So basically what happened was there was a company called Mola Entertainment that owned the rights to make a new Porky's movie, but they only had a certain time frame in which they were allowed to do it. And if they hadn't made the movie in that time frame, they would have lost the rights to the film. So they made this movie in
tragic.
Yeah, I know, right? In some very, very, very short period of time. It was, I want to say it's something like 23 days and for like $1 million. I will correct myself here if I am wrong about that. But very, very short period of time, including all the script writing, including absolutely everything. And then there was a lawsuit relating to how they did this, because there was some claim that they had to spend a certain amount of money in order to not make it complete trash. And because they didn't spend that amount of money on the budget of the film, they did not meet the terms of the contract. That lawsuit ended up getting settled outside of court in some undisclosed sort of settlement. But the joy of that lawsuit getting settled was that Howard Stern had for a very long time wanted to create Howard Stern's Porky's. The thought was that he was going to then create it. And that was back in 2011. So clearly he has not made that yet. And I think that we can probably all agree that at this point we would not want to see Howard Stern's Porky's.
Yeah, you give it to me 7 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. He has lost his charm at being able to do things like this. And I will say, for what this movie is, we get a lot of boobs. We got a lot of sex jokes. Going back to the Wendy storyline, the way that they describe Wendy is she's great at blowjobs, loved anal, and has a monster butthole. And I was like, that is a really weird description of a woman, but that's kind of funny.
Monster butthole is usually not a selling point.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that was a good thing, but whatever. I feel like Howard Stern probably would not have included the term monster butthole in his movie.
That seems more of a Stuttering John writing, actually.
Yeah, it truly does.
Stern would have focused way more on meat's meat
yeah.
than Wendy's butthole.
I feel like I got enough of meat's meat.
I would have rather just had the naked dudes like we had in the first few movies than the fake dick constantly. It got ridiculous, man.
Oh, come on. The fake dick transition. That was my favorite.
Those fucking transitions, man.
Those wipes were, the first one is like a clock wipe, and then you get like the circle wipes, and then
I was waiting for star. Give me star wipe. Give me star wipe. Oh,
I couldn't believe it. It was crazy.
Did y'all catch all, like, when they did some of those wipes, the the titles that they were putting on them? So they did one wipe and it said the next day. They did another wipe later. It said Porky's Revenge. So they were throwing the nod back to the first couple a bit.
They sure did. Yeah. I actually have a story about Porky's Revenge before we get into the plot of this movie. So I got very excited. The other day, I was telling a story about a restaurant that I really, really hate in Rochester. My least favorite restaurant in Rochester, in fact. And I told the story about it in a popsicle review that I did over on my Patreon. Somebody who watched that looked up the restaurant. And they were like, oh, I just wonder what this restaurant is like. And they looked at the menu and they had a dish on the menu called Porky's Revenge. And I was like, fuck, I have to go back to that restaurant. I was like, you have got to be goddamn kidding me. I hate this restaurant so much. Do you want to know why I hated this restaurant so much? I fucking hate this place with all of my goddamn passion in my life. I went there for brunch one time. It's like one of these like frou-frou restaurants. They have a chandelier that's worth over $1 million. It's like, you know, fancy cocktails and everything is fancy for some stupid reason. And so I like went to go order brunch. They didn't have anything on the menu that I wanted to eat. All I wanted was like eggs and normal bacon. And so I got a fruit salad. And they give me this fucking fruit salad where the chunks of fruit are like gigantic chunks of fruit, not bite size. And there's an orange sliced in quarters that still has the fucking peel on it. And I was like, that's not a goddamn fruit salad. Fuck you. Oh my God. I was so angry about it. So I went back to that restaurant tonight. My anger did not subside, but I went there tonight to get Porky's Revenge. I was like, I'm doing it. After I watched Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee and I saw that title card for Porky's Revenge, I was like, I have to do it. I have to do it for the love of Porky's. I'm going to suffer through it. I go in there. I sit down at the bar. I'm all ready. And I'm like, can I have Porky's Revenge? And they go, we changed our menu yesterday.
Now run along, Miss PhD.
Oh my God.
And I was like, is there any chance at all that you still can make me that? I was like, I will pay a lot of money. They were like, no, absolutely not. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And everything that I ate was trash.
Still.
Oh, I was so angry. I was angry twice. Nosh. Never eat at Nosh in Rochester. Total garbage. Disgusting.
No worries. I don't think I'm ever going to travel to Rochester.
I respect that decision. But I was so excited because when I saw those title cards, I was like, I can eat Porky's Revenge and then I can talk about it. And no, I can't do any of that. Why would you name a food menu item Porky's Revenge? It sounds like I'm going to be shitting my pants. Why at your fancy restaurant that has $1 million chandelier, who the fuck is ordering Porky's Revenge?
That definitely does sound like something you're going to be regretting later. You're gonna be shitting, screaming. People's asking what's going on. Just Porky's Revenge.
It's like the most absurd. Who has heard of such a thing? All right, we need to get into Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee. Let's talk about the plot of this movie. So the plot is relatively simple. We get to see the boys. They end up going to Porky's. I can't even get into the plot yet. Who the hell is Porky in this movie?
No terrible.
Idea.
I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Why are these dumb fucks still obsessed with Porky's?
Well, in this universe, this is the first time they've been to Porky's.
Yeah, I guess you're fucking right.
That's what I said. Is it a reboot? Is it a fucking sequel? I don't understand.
They call them squee boots or something like that when they kind of mix it in between. Something. I mean, this is kind of like 2014 Ghostbusters without the old cast cameos in the background.
I don't even know that that's a good analogy because it literally doesn't make any. At one point, Porky is talking with his daughter, Shelly, who ends up becoming one of our main female characters. And the two of them are discussing like a business plan. And she refers to original Porky as her uncle, I think. I think she refers to him as Uncle Cyrus.
Staff turnover has nearly doubled from when Uncle Cyrus had the place.
Please, don't mention that dumbass's name. He almost ruined the joint.
But then they were still calling this guy Porky. So it's just everybody in that family named Porky?
Is that the last name? So her name's Shelly Porky?
Because I was confused by that, because it wasn't Porky's Revenge. We already were introduced to a daughter. And then
the one with that different nice daughter. Ass.
What's also weird about that is that in Porky's Revenge, the shtick was that the daughter was a butterface, that she was ugly.
How you doing, babe?
But this daughter, Shelly, is gorgeous. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, she is. I did have trouble focusing on the conversation with her and Porky, though, because she's got this indentation on her forehead, like dead center between her eyes, and it was very distracting. Yeah, so I missed a lot of that conversation. But yeah, if you go back and you look at that, you'll see it. Yeah, right there, just dead center forehead indentation.
I got the same thing. Her mother was smoking when he picked her up as a toddler, and that's where that comes from.
I don't want to know that because now I'm going to have to edit this review and it's all I'm going to see. So screw you for telling me about that.
Hey, coming from a guy who watches a lot of porn, that is a perfect target.
Okay. All right. That's... I will think of it that way in that case. I will think of it that way. So the boys, they do go to Porky's, and Porky's is now a brothel that has porn stars for hire?
Well, I've seen all the movies.
I had a problem with this at first because they made it seem like it was a really, really dirty place. And then I was like, well, wait a minute. In the first one, they went to Porky's to get laid. Porky's has always been a brothel. They just never made it sound so dirty.
Oh, and this one was
that glory hole was pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
I thought that after that glory hole scene that I was going to really like this movie. So basically what happens is we get to see everybody's in there. Everybody's having a good time. There's strippers. There's whatever. Guy goes over to a glory hole. And on the other side of a glory hole is a dude wearing a gas mask slapping dicks. I was like, whoa, don't stick your penis in there, please.
Didn't he hit one with like a little club?
It was so stupid. Oh my God, but I loved it.
He had like fucking like black latex gloves on, which I'm assuming were lubed up to all hell.
Yeah, I mean, that way it's not gay because he's not touching it.
I just hope he gets paid well for that job.
It's a living.
That might be one of the last funny things in this movie to me. That and Pee-wee yelling out his mom's name while he was jerking off in bed.
Mom? Pee-wee. Stop jerking off.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The opening of this movie for sure is the better parts of it. Another couple of things that I really enjoyed early on that we kind of glossed over here were the introduction to Uncle Howard. So Uncle Howard is Pee-wee's uncle, and Uncle Howard is very, very rich, and Pee-wee is going to have to take care of his house for a month while Uncle Howard is out of town. And Uncle Howard is very eccentric. He's got a lot of antiques. He has a fake dog for some reason that I legitimately wasn't sure in the beginning of the movie if the fake dog was a real dog, that they just didn't have money to get a real dog on set, or what was happening there. But he, at one point, Pee-wee goes to shake his hand and Uncle Howard goes, "Oh, don't touch me with those dick beaters."
Whoa, Pee-wee, keep those dick beaters away from me. Your mom said she caught you jerking it this morning.
And I was like, I like that.
Yeah, he's like, I've already been on the phone with your mother. Don't touch me.
Yeah. Another thing that I did also like towards the beginning of the film was when the boys are over in Porky's, they, at one point, the bouncer like summons over girls to our three heroes. And then we get a very smutty description of each one of the four girls. The first one, she can do ATM because she lost her sense of taste and smell in a fire.
Yuck mouth.
And then the second one, she prefers the back door, which seems very tame compared to the first girl, but whatever. That's girl number 2.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? She's Catholic.
But prefers. That's the...
Oh, yes. All right. You might be...
Not will do.
The third one offended me. Yes,
what does the third one say?
It offended me greatly, and it should have you two guys as well.
The third one was the girl had dentures so that she was great at blowies.
Out, easy access.
And she's from Oklahoma.
Oh.
He said she's from Oklahoma.
I didn't even notice
and
that.
has no fucking teeth.
Well, meth is pretty rampant out here. I mean, come on, let's...
That's not all of us. Like, we're not all fucking just, gum-faced hillbillies. Like, what the fuck, man?
At least we're not Texan, so...
I'm more upset that I can't find these Oklahomans with no teeth to get a nice gummer.
Just come down here to my city and walk the streets. You'll find them. They're half asleep in the shopping carts, but they're there.
Good God. The fourth girl, less offensive. She quote, likes the 3-hole punch. I was like, that's also pretty funny. Again, I kind of thought I was going to enjoy this movie as I was going into it. I was like, this is a smutty 2000s sex comedy. Is it Porky's? Not necessarily, because so far we don't have any pranks. Nothing Porky's like is happening. But am I seeing a lot of boobs and enjoying myself? Yeah, I kind of am.
I think a 10-year-old me would have really enjoyed this movie.
Yes.
Up to this point, at least. I said the first movie is like the original American Pie. This movie, if I was to say it's an American Pie, it's like one of those, like the Naked Mile that come out, but even like a worse version of that. Like that's how far down they went for this one. This is like a C or a D movie.
Yeah, this went straight to Redbox.
Damn, Redbox picked this up?
I don't know.
I figured this would be on like Tubi or something.
It's possible that we're the only 4 people in the world who have seen this movie, which is probably for the better, I'll be honest. Although, again, lots of great boobies. They do end up having sex with girls in the Porky's brothel. Pee-wee ends up taking 2 girls. Like, their one rule is don't come in our eyes. Pee-wee is wearing tighty whities, and the girls are, like, pushing him away, and he's trying to join in.
Excuse me. Ladies, hi. Don't you think I should be in on this?
And there's like a speculum and tennis ball anal beads and a power drill dildo. And I was like, there's so many things happening. I don't even understand. And of course, it results in Pee-wee coming in their eyes.
It's in my eye. I'm blind. I can't get my contact out.
You never heard of a dildo?
I actually don't know that I've ever heard that term. I have seen it before.
Okay.
But I don't know that I've ever heard that term. No.
Okay. It's scarier when they're hooked up to a Sawzall. I've seen the mishaps of that.
Okay, what about tennis ball anal beads? Those aren't going in buttholes anytime soon.
That's not nice.
That's not the right texture.
That was great, though. That actually got a laugh out of me.
Why was he smelling them as they were coming out of the bag? Like you smell one, you smell them all, right?
You'd think so.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't smell any of them.
Technically, one has been in further, so there should be a different smell.
I know he's dumb, but he should know where those go.
I think he knew, and he just wanted to smell it. At least that's like the closest to the ultra horniness of the real Pee-wee.
No, the closest to the ultra horniness was him jumping in bed and finally giving up and to say, fuck it, I'm jerking off. But like Kaylee said, him jerking off next to them led to him breaking the one rule they had. So
poor little guy.
I mean, he had 2 girls finally.
No, I don't.
Hold on. I kind of feel sorry for this.
Yeah, because he paid for something that he didn't get.
How much money did his uncle leave? It was $1,000, right?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
He spent $750 of that here to get these 2 girls and meet 1 girl. He's got to watch his uncle's house for a month and now only has $250 to do so.
Less than that, the 3 beers were $36 plus tip.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, too. So, yeah, he's probably broke after all this.
At the end, they make a reference to having to work for the summer. That was his bonus money, maybe. I'm trying to make logic out of this movie. Please make me stop. Allow me to make
weird uncle paid $1,000 ahead of time. It's like, okay, you're going to watch my house. Here's the money up front. That's weird.
None of it makes any sense. Do you guys want to talk about the only car in the movie? There's like
wondering if we'd
There's like a white T-Bird, right?
Yeah. I was going to say, it was like the one car, and I do have a note on that just for you, Kay. I said, at least this meat knows how to turn his car off when he parks the damn thing.
I was so proud. That's all I got out of this movie. I was like, it's a car. The boys will want to talk about it.
Yeah, I wrote, God damn it, it's a car.
Yeah. I don't even know how to talk about this stupid movie. It's so goddamn stupid. Okay, so, oh my God. So Meat is also with one of the girls. We should talk about that too, because there's another, again, sort of funny moment. Everything I feel like is a sort of funny moment, not a true funny moment. Meat goes in with one of these prostitutes and she uses like one of those shoe measuring things in order to see how big his giant dick is.
Oh, we're at Payless.
What the fuck? Why is that the measuring device she pulls out?
Why does she have
even
that?
has that?
Yeah.
Like, that's not something people have laying around.
It would measure length and width at the same time.
I guess that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
So, like,
right,
he's
that
a
makes sense
13
now.
inch
Thanks,
extra
Malcolm.
wide.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that is what people should be using.
I'm getting on Amazon right now and buying one.
I think
so your
that's
balls-
reasonable.
The balls fit in the heel, and then you stretch it up to the toe.
Oh, I like it. I like it. You start, give you some extra length too. You start with the balls, measure from there.
Yeah.
You're onto something.
That's what I always say. You measure from the back of the tank to the front, guys. That's why tape measures have that little metal part. You pop it in there, it holds in, pull it forward.
You know, also the foot measuring device, whatever the fuck it's called, it also has that little cup, where the heel sits.
That's what Malcolm just said.
Cradle your balls.
Yeah, catch up, dude.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Now, was it just somebody's house? It just looked like a house out
It
in the
looked
country.
like a house.
I think that was due to budgetary issues.
Well, also look like his fucking riverboat got ruined. He's out of money.
I mean, if we're in that universe, which who the hell knows?
If we are.
We do have to talk about one more thing relating to Meat and his chick, though, which is, of course, that after he ejaculates in her mouth, she pukes all over him with very chunky chunk vomit.
Did you eat chili?
It looked like it was SpaghettiOs of meatballs with some Frank chunks in there.
Oh, what the fuck?
I told you not to touch my head.
Did you eat chili?
Yes, that was.
That's what it looked like when I kept pausing it, put it in slow-mo.
They did a better puking job than Porky's 2 did. Your favorite scene there, Kaylee?
No, I disagree. Porky's 2 has the best puke scene. This looked like real puke, but I don't want it. And also, I understand that everybody is into what they're into, but like that was not pleasant for me to watch. It was a little too graphic for my very prudish eyes, obviously.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
You all believe me so much.
How much chili did you eat?
It was like one of those things. I could deal with the glory hole, but I couldn't deal with the puke, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
The glory hole was too damn funny. I mean, like I said,
funny.
besides fucking Pee-wee saying his mom's name while jerking off, like that had to be the funniest thing. And I think you see it 2 or 3 more times, that same guy sitting back there.
Which means like anyone can see that it's just that guy back there, and it's just in the middle. It's like, yep, just gonna go get a blowy real quick.
Why not? The boys all end up going over to Pee-wee's house, and they decide that they are going to throw a party, even though Pee-wee says absolutely not because he doesn't want to ruin his Uncle Howard's house. Oh, Jesus Christ, I hate this fucking movie. While I'm doing great. Everything's
Let's be
wonderful.
honest, real quick. Is this in your bottom 3 movies you've ever reviewed?
No.
Okay. All right. Because I'm just looking at the hatred on your face right now talking about this.
But talking through it is like near impossible because it's like, yeah, it's a vomit joke. At one point, somebody's making a girl into a pizza.
Pizza Supreme.
There's a pool sucker on a dick. And like, it's just what
That was the one prank I saw coming.
I didn't see it coming. Neither did him. And I was like, does anyone remember the 90s when all those kids kept getting hurt by the suction of pools back in the day? He's like, that's dangerous.
I always thought that was an old wives' tale, but maybe it isn't.
Heard rumors and the stories about guys getting their dicks caught in like hot tubs and shit,
Putting it
I
in
don't know
the
if that's
jets.
true.
I've
Hey,
heard people putting their assholes up to one and their fucking, their colon just gets ripped out of their fucking ass. Pretty gnarly stuff.
I hesitate to ask this question. Have any of you seen the movie The Death of Dick Long?
Ooh.
No.
No, I have not.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that.
The Death of Dick Long. Malcolm?
I would recommend it. While Pee-wee and Meat are banging their chicks, we also have to worry about Tommy. Tommy has met Shelly. And of course, Shelly is Porky whoever the hell Porky is in this movie, it's his daughter. Shelly and Tommy start having this little thing, and Shelly invites all of her friends over to have this giant party at Uncle Howard's house. And Pee-wee is like trying to protect all of the antiques. He's like putting up signs, like off-limit signs. The party looks relatively lame to me. Like, I understand that there's a lot of naked girls. I understand that there's like blow-up dolls. We also get to see like the like girls jumping on trampolines. There's like beer bongs. There's BMX bikes. People are using butts as Congo drums. But in addition to that, they're having like a weird toilet paper party where they're like playing with toilet paper. Like, so you're real life searching. Would you want to go to that? If there were no naked girls, would you want to go to that party?
No, it didn't seem like a good time whatsoever. But the toilet paper, like the only toilet paper I've ever played with in my life is toilet paper in somebody's house. Wasting it at a party seems kind of dumb.
Yeah, it didn't seem fun at all. It just seemed really
toilet paper
dumb.
your own house.
Yeah, completely crazy.
The girl in the pool, that is such a so far, to get naked and to torture Pee-wee for. They don't know who he is. For all they know, he owns the house.
Well, that's what she said. Yeah, she asked him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, it's my house. It's my house." Like he went along with it. Yeah, he went with it.
It's like, but it's not like they're from the college. Like, oh, that's Pee-wee. That's who we make fun of. It's like she was just mean just because she is an awful person to lead someone on like that.
She was mean.
It's awful.
The person throwing the party at that, like, I'd kick her ass out afterwards, right?
Yeah.
You know what I was more distracted by when it came to that is that she takes off her swimsuit and he loses his mind over seeing her boobs. He's like, oh my God, boobies. There's literally 50 naked girls with their boobs out all around him. Why does he care only about that one set of boobies?
Because the set was staring at him.
Men are simple creatures and we fixate on things weird.
All right.
Yeah, if we were sitting here right now and your boobs were hanging out and Malcolm was talking to me, I wouldn't know what he was saying.
Exactly.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful.
Nice work.
I feel so much better. Okay, so that pool sucker scene, let's get into a little bit more of that. Yeah. So again, I agree. She is totally mean and she pretends like she's going to give him a blowy. Instead, she puts the pool sucker right on his dick. He jumps out of the pool. We get to see his butt. So that did feel true to Porky's.
Yeah.
Somebody vomits over this. There's a lot of vomit in this movie, I guess. And this is a scene where I feel like this could have been really, really funny if they had gotten the comedic timing right at all. But it did not work for me in the slightest.
Well, that's the biggest problem with this. The three actors that Tommy, Meat, and Pee-wee are just not funny.
Yeah.
Of everybody in this movie, they're just not funny. I liked Shelly seemed like she was okay.
Yep.
Porky was awful. Yeah. I don't like any of the casting. So that's what, like I said, it's a fucking C or a D movie if this is what you get.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Something that I forgot to mention about Pee-wee, but I do think it's kind of funny and important. Did you notice that he was like doing like little magic tricks and like spinning cards a whole bunch throughout the movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
that was like that was
him.
Yeah.
I think in real life, what that actor could do.
Yeah. In real life, he's a magician. So his credits, listen, this is my favorite fucking thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. He is an American actor, a magician, and a former Crayola spokesperson. Ooh, and that is the funniest list of credits ever. That's whose butt you were just looking at in the pool sucker scene. All
right. So he's an actor, a magician, and a former Crayola
spokesperson.
Spokesperson.
Interesting. I wonder what that means.
I would like to find like his advertisements of doing Crayola shit. Like that must exist somewhere.
But I've gone to school. I'm educated. I'm a doctor, for gosh sake.
Maybe that means he was the Crayola kid at some point.
Yeah. That's what I'm guessing. There
was a Crayola kid? Like, I don't remember there ever being...
I'm learning a lot today.
Or something similar. Kind of, hell, I don't know.
Doesn't he seem like the kind of guy that would be a magician, though?
Yes.
Like, I feel like this is the guy that like comes up to me at a party like this and is like, do you want to see a magic trick?
To ensure that I'm going to hypnotize you the right way, I'm going to need the assistance of 2 cards. These 2 queens. They are about to go face to face, just like that. As I slowly shake around, and you'll swear you'll see them swirling together, causing you to get sleepier and sleepier and sleepier. And soon, when they are pulled apart, you will be hypnotized.
And I'm like, no, I fucking do not want to see a magic trick at all. Like, that's kind of who I feel like he is.
I mean, the way he worked those cards, he's got pretty dexterous fingers. I'm just...
he's good with his hands.
Okay. You have
definitely
sold
looked like he
me.
knew what he was
something
doing.
there. Yeah.
Now I'm into magicians. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah.
It makes your shit disappear.
There is, during the party sequences, there is like a little montage, and I actually really liked how the montage was done. It's like the house getting trashed, and then there's like cutting to Pee-wee just like losing it. And that, I thought the comedic timing worked on that better than on any of these other funny scenes. And perhaps that's because we get so little of the characters, because I do agree that all of them are horrible, horrible actors.
Why did I let them throw the party?
They also start here at the party. I want to ask y'all something. That, I guess, love story, if you want to call it here, because, Wendy's gone, so they got to give Pee-wee somebody.
Yep.
So this random girl that showed up because of Shelly, I guess it's her best friend, is now part of this group all of a sudden, kind of like Inga in Revenge.
Yeah.
Just there all of a sudden. So she shows up, and this relationship or whatever love story, whatever the fuck you want to call this, seems way more forced than anything I've seen in this entire series. They throw her in. They say, you're going to get with Pee-wee. She just watched him get blown by a pool sucker, was about to fuck some random girl that he didn't know. I don't know, there's just a bunch of random shit here. How did she fall for him after seeing everything that night or that day at that party?
Well, I will say 2 things. One, probably she likes nerdy guys, which I would say a fair amount of girls do. Maybe not in the 2000s. A lot of girls did, but it's more common now. And 2, she might have initially thought that he had a bunch of money because of Uncle Howard's house.
Yeah.
So Vanessa could have been interested in him because of that.
And Pee-wee's has a humiliation kink. Maybe she has a pity kink,
Yeah.
Just feeling sorry for him.
That's a very good point as well.
So we get Porky's 5 BDSM Porky.
Hell yeah. Directed by Howard Stern.
Well,
it's going to be fucking great. So Vanessa and Pee-wee do go and start, they're like about to like start making out, but they break a whole bunch of Uncle Howard's antiques. And the next day they realize that it is going to cost $20,000 to $25,000 to fix all of the antiques that were broken. And they only have 3 weeks to get that money. So this is the conflict in the movie. This is what the real plot is.
Where the fuck does that number come from, though? Like, none of them know what those antiques are, where they came from, or how much they're worth. And they're just like, yep, this much money. That's how much we need. If they can even fucking find the things again.
Well, to go along with that, they break 3 identical vases, antique vases.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Those are antiques for a reason. They're not exactly that replaceable, right?
Yeah.
But they somehow managed to track down 3 identical antique vases. Well, I'm Temu, bro.
Which would cost about $20,000 right now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And that solves that.
The antiques, $25,000, random number they come up with, but it doesn't make any damn sense. But here I am following Kaylee's lead. I'm trying to make logic.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to make logic of this movie. That's why I'm like having so much trouble talking through it, because it literally is just of all of, I mean, I do think that something that we've seen in the Porky's series is that the movies don't always have a cohesive plot. A lot of the time we're getting distracted by either smutty stuff or we're getting distracted by pranks. this is relatively true to form when it comes to Porky's in that sense. However, this one is just so nonsensical and absolutely nothing happens in this 90 minutes of movie that I get lost in it. I'm like, when did this happen? Did this happen? What happened? I don't know. So I do know, though, that Tina Topper, who is the main porn star over at Porky's, she is starting to get annoyed at Porky because Porky is like a misogynistic dude who doesn't respect the fact that she's getting a PhD and she's kind of smart. And in addition to that, Porky is continuously overbooking her for clients. So she can't spend as much time as she would like to with these men. She wants to take her time with her clients and have fun.
I told you, the fewer the guys, the better I can make it for them.
Well, fewer guys mean less money, Miss PhD. And it's all about money, honey.
And as a result of her continuing to get annoyed at Porky's, she is eventually going to move over to Pee-wee's Playhouse, I guess, because they are going to, in order to make the $20,000 to $25,000, create a brothel. So they are Porky's now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what does she want from an owner of a brothel? What kind of business does she think she's in? I mean, okay, fine. If she was a stripper, like those porn stars that go on little, it's like, fine, you got more of a point, but it's like, no, you're here to fuck people for money.
Yep.
Like, so, and he's a dude that he only cares about money.
Yeah.
I'm completely on Porky's side in this one. I mean,
Here
he treats her like shit. No, he treated
side.
her like shit. He did. Mm-hmm. But she is his employee. They have a contract. She is there to fuck as many guys in a day as can get scheduled. Mm-hmm. If it's 17 or 22, as both happen in this, it shouldn't matter. You get out there, you give 110%, you take the dick, you go home, you come back tomorrow.
Oh, she's going to do 22 in like, what, an 8-hour shift? What an amateur.
Yeah, amateur.
Nothing
shit.
compared
Like
to
Willie Phillips and Bonnie Blue could show
Yeah.
her how to do better than that.
Yeah. Those are rookie numbers.
They have 22 in a day. Willie Phillips did that in 5 minutes.
Listen, things are more exciting these days. Come on.
I would question sadder, but yeah.
Yeah, well, to each their own. So they end up having the new gang of folks here. They end up having this like business meeting where they are planning out their idea for the brothel. And there is a PowerPoint presentation with like childish dick drawings. Who drew those drawings?
I'm going to say it's Porky's daughter, hence why Porky didn't take her seriously with her like presentation. It's like, yeah, great, lovely. Go back and finish drawing, sweetheart. Fucking get out of my office.
I was thinking it was the marketing major, her friend.
Oh.
Either way, it doesn't make any sense. And also they're all on board. Why do they need a PowerPoint presentation?
You just told these guys that they might get laid and they get to look at titties all day. No, they'd be perfectly fine. You don't need to convince them.
Yeah. They're all super happy. They do have a discussion during this, though, about the legality of having a brothel. So whatever state they're in, it sounds like they cannot have a brothel. And so their genius idea is that they will put webcams in all of the rooms and say that they are making porno or homegrown porn.
They were just making some nice homegrown pornography here.
But isn't that probably also horribly illegal? Because it doesn't sound like they're telling the customers about this.
So they're in California. So making pornography is fine. Now, you just touched on something, and I had the same thought. They're illegally recording these fucks, having sex, and then posting it on a porn site. Highly illegal.
Well, unless they are informing them beforehand, and we just don't see that part. That would be.
And there's also a chance that was just say, and they probably don't even know how to record footage on those awful webcams. Wireless
these
webcams.
retards are not having the foresight to notify anyone they're getting recorded.
They don't have foresight on anything. They're stealing business from what we thought was a badass mobster in this movie. And they have no care about it. They stole all his business. They stole his girls. They stole everything, and they don't care. They don't look forward to anything. They look at what's going to happen now. They're idiots. That's the one thing that Porky's 1 and Porky's 4 have in common. The kids are awful.
Yeah, Porky's not that great either.
Every time you talk to that Tinseltown twat.
Yeah, no. I don't like this Porky. I'm not as with this Porky.
Yeah.
I don't think I can tell you somebody I'm with in this movie. I can't even say I have a favorite person. I didn't like Pee-wee. I think Meat's retarded. Tommy he wasn't Tommy.
No.
Give me Wendy back. I don't need Shelly.
She had a monster butthole.
Yeah.
Damn it, shitty.
Wait, you don't want to see how they would ruin Wendy. So we don't, it's good Wendy's not there.
They ruined
Let
Wendy. They turned
Wendy. Don't touch
they
Wendy.
ruined Wendy. They turned Wendy into a complete whore. No, if you remember in the first one, yes, they talked about her like she was a whore, but she'd only slept with 3 people. That guy at camp, Tommy, and Pee-wee. Yeah. And now then they talk about her loving anal and all that shit. No, they already ruined Wendy. So fuck you.
She had a monster butthole.
They literally ruined her by saying that she has a monster butthole.
Yes. What are you talking about?
Great. Monster butthole.
Wow, that's ruined.
That's what I see.
I would say I liked this Meat versus the original. He's not
bet you
chewing
do.
gum all the time.
You like them dumb and hung, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh no, he almost acted like he was not pardon this, but he acted like he was like a horse just moving around.
Yeah.
Just
Not
He was
wrong.
just a background character. First
Not
of all,
wrong.
he's like the biggest fan of Tina. He makes that mention. It's like, oh, Tina's here. I've seen everything. And then he meets her at the party and he doesn't really seem to act like he knows who she is.
Well, she's
doesn't
in
recognize
nerd
her.
girl disguise.
Well, hello, beautiful. I'm me.
I can tell.
Can you?
Yeah, she has.
She has
It's
glasses
like Clark
on.
Kent. She has
Right.
fucking glasses on, so you can't see her
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Okay,
He has-
Turns
fine.
invisible.
Porky's daughter says, we'll get a porn star in here. And he goes, where are we going to find a porn star?
Yeah, but where the hell are we gonna get a porn star?
It's like, well, I mean, at my dad's work, there's one.
They don't know that that's her dad yet. Come on.
Oh, wait. And then the fact that Meat picks up an old beer bottle and starts chugging it, and there's like peanuts coming out of it. I
saw that too.
Objects are
Yeah.
coming out, and
What
I'm
was
hoping
that?
it's peanuts.
It was. I think it was peanuts. He was like sitting there eating whatever was
Yeah.
at the bottom of this beer bottle that he picked up off
And
the
then-
fucking table.
And then he picks up a second beer bottle that someone else had set down as well, and he's double fisting
Hey, we wouldn't have to dress up like girls, though, would we?
and used beer bottles.
Well, he got all excited and jumped up to Pee-wee. He's like, "Hey, this one's half full." Starts drinking. Like I
See,
told
that's why I
y'all, they
liked him.
made him fucking retarded.
And that's why
Sorry.
I love him. That's 3 times.
She said it once.
Meat is like, he's supposed to be like going into the Navy, and then Tina is just like instantly in love with him and like is like, oh, why are you going to the Navy? Like, instead just stay here. And all of it is nonsense. And again, the fact that it takes him so long to realize that this nerdy looking girl is Tina, completely absurd. It also drove me crazy when Tina shows up at the party house. She rings the doorbell.
I know you.
There's a giant party happening. Why did she ring the doorbell? Like, whatever.
Logic.
That party
Logic.
was a giant success. They had a great success at the party. Nobody is going to Porky's anymore. Everybody is coming to Pee-wee's Playhouse, and they make $9,000 in one night. There's also like
9,406.
Oh, thank you. That was very important. So important. It's really, there's also they like show a couple of times when they're like all the different webcams. So there's like this one room where there's like girls wrestling in bikinis, and I was like, well, every single other girl is naked in this movie. Why are these girls not naked?
Well, why are all these girls still hanging out in these rooms playing with each other after all the customers have gone home? It's literally just them watching the webcam at this point. Are the girls sleeping there? Did I miss that?
It's a complete nonsense. There's like webcam rooms, there's like whips and dogs, and the girl who's getting made into a pizza for some reason. Okay.
Well, why was it okay? All right, so since we're talking about it, why did Pee-wee and Meat think it was just going to be perfectly fine to go burst into one of these rooms and join them in bed? Like Pee-wee goes in, gets thrown around the bed, and they like slap him, tickle him, do all kinds of shit to him, and kick him back out. And also, follow-up question, was that the same 2 girls from the first of the movie that he came in one of their eyes?
At least the one that was with Meat was wandering around there. At least she was.
Yeah, well, because I thought it was the same too, because Pee-wee goes, "Not this time, girls," and he goes running into the room with them. So I was wondering if it was the same too. So I didn't know if anybody caught on to that or not, because I don't remember if you get a close up.
That's very, very interesting. It's not very interesting. We're
trying.
I know. Dang it, I know. They are. Stupid pizza girl. I can't get over the pizza girl. I don't know why. Like I'm not trying to kink shame. I understand everybody has their thing, and food play I'm sure can be lots of fun. But like just pouring pizza sauce on some girl's boobies, especially after we had to watch the chunky vomit earlier, it just did not. It was like a really unpleasant experience for me in all of the ways.
Maybe he's just really into that. He has that. Yeah. He may have had some Fromunda cheese to eat. You never know.
Yeah, you're totally right. You're totally
Pepperoni
right.
nipples on her. You got a full pizza going.
It's just perfect. Delicious. Okay, so we haven't talked about, there's like a bunch of like beach cutaway shots. Do I even care about that? I don't fucking care about that. Where am I going? Where am I going with my
I was
life?
so excited when the editor tried doing a mask of people walking by to change the scene. It's like he's learning. He's learning. He doesn't have the time to go back and fix his mistakes before, but he's learning. He's getting better.
I'm glad that you appreciated that. So the conflict kind of continues along because at this point we have Shelly is with Tommy. We have Vanessa is with Pee-wee, and then we have Tina is with Meat. And some of the conflict also revolves around the fact that because Porky is Shelly's father, part of Shelly's motive for helping them with this new brothel is that she is trying to get back at her father for not respecting her business prowess. And so there's kind of this like little mini conflict side plot that goes absolutely nowhere. But what we do learn is that even though the boys are a total success, Porky's is doing horribly, and Porky's and Porky shows up at Pee-wee's porn house with a gun.
Go ahead, shit for brains. Make it move. Fuck easy.
Which escalated so quickly for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I got excited for this Porky. I was like, this Porky knows how to fucking get it done.
I did like, too. I was like, Porky's revenge. Like, here it is. We finally got to the revenge. I don't know that that's exactly what happened there because, of course, a fight breaks out. And then there's like baseball bats. There's like the bartender from the bar is like there with a baseball bat. And then Porky shoots the gun. But Tina immediately is like, put it away before Shelly, his daughter, comes out.
Oh, yeah. See, the thing is, he shot Mario upstairs that was still doing the pizza girl.
That's what I was going to say. He shot directly upstairs. Those rooms are full of people.
Yeah.
Mamma mia.
Nobody seemed to care about it at all. Nobody seemed to care. And the result of this, of Porky pulling a gun on these 20-somethings, is that Shelly and him have a heart-to-heart to sappy music.
But what are you doing here, Shelly? You're smarter than I am. You're better than me.
Dad?
Where Porky agrees to make changes at Porky's as long as Shelly goes back to school. And she says, deal, as long as you give the boys their $750 back that they paid to get laid in the first place because they didn't end up getting laid. But really, they all do end up getting laid because they all have their girls that they're with.
Yeah, but they didn't have to pay for that.
Yeah, they didn't have to pay for that. I want my money back.
But the fact that Porky agreed, this right here is like, they called this scene Porky's Revenge, like you said.
Yep.
There was no fucking revenge. He gave up. He would have let the daughter keep running the business and not do anything if she wanted to. And then he would have just been out of business. And then what? But he gave up. He gave them their money back, even though he's been hemorrhaging money. Now what? All the girls are going to go back to him after the way they were treated here? I don't think that's going to be as easy as they think. And I don't know. I was okay with this Porky up until this point. Like, when he shot the gun, I was like, fuck yeah, shoot people. Shoot somebody else. Let's find Brian, wherever the hell he's supposed to be, and shoot him.
I thought that this movie was going to get really dark. I was like, holy shit. Like, we're about to get into some real, like, I was convinced this movie was going to go somewhere really incredible and I was going to love this movie and that it was going to be Porky showing up with a gun and he was going to take people down and that's how we were going to end the series. Like, I really, truly thought that that's where we were going. And instead, again, we get heart to sappy music, which was just not what I want in my sex comedy.
You can run a business. I'll make the changes. Just do me a favor. Go back to school and shut this circus down.
Maybe he shouldn't have his child hanging around his brothel to begin with.
True.
And why did she think, oh, he looks like a nice guy hanging out at my father's brothel? I want to see if he's a good guy. It's like he's at a brothel.
Well, he was the one guy sitting at the bar lonely and not looking.
It just looked like he was waiting for his number, you know?
Or as Kaylee put it, maybe he was gay.
I really think he was gay. I still think he's gay. I'm going with gay. He's gay.
Mm-hmm.
He's just gay.
Don't worry about me. I'm good.
You know what? Just a thought. We're getting all these reboots of like Winnie the Pooh killing people, Mickey Mouse killing people. Maybe we'll get a Porky's eventually. Get a real Porky's revenge.
Porky's true revenge. Yep.
I think I would like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a straight up serial killer movie. Porky's going through Angel Beach, killing people.
Mm-hmm.
They can even make it funny. He tries to hide behind like a light pole, but his big ass stomach's poking out, like looking around it.
Yeah, but we have to root for him like we always do. I love it.
I'd root for him.
Yeah.
We will when he gets to Brian.
Yeah, we sure will.
Brian in his car.
All right, so Malcolm, I think that it was you saying that you wanted to talk a little bit more about Pee-wee's Pee-wee.
Oh, you know, Pee-wee. Maybe if your dick was bigger, she would have hung around.
So we do learn as the movie comes to a close that Pee-wee is quite small, but that at least he has both girth and volume, which I suppose they would have used the shoe measurer to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. He's got girth and volume.
I guess volume is his ejaculation. That's what because that was a lot.
Yeah. I think Pee-wee's hung like a skull can. He's like,
it's very silly, but you also wanted to talk about a little bit more about what he's into, I think.
Yeah, it was like once he accepted that the pool sucker was on him and everyone's pointing at him, you could see that he got turned on. It's like, oh, he came so hard. I think he has a kink humiliation, and it explains so much. He's not a dork. He is getting worked up with everyone making fun of him, calling him needle dick, and it just gets him rock hard.
It makes sense. You can see it going back all the way to the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Porky's too. The scene out in the middle of the graveyard. Mm-hmm. That should have been embarrassing. But that dude's just standing there butt ass naked. He runs home butt ass naked, gets caught by the police butt ass naked. Doesn't seem to be bothered by it. So
yeah, he's just fine. It's like, I'm going to use this later. Mm-hmm.
And I think the actor may be into humiliation rituals as well, because doing this movie is kind of humiliating. It was terrible.
Yep.
I would not want to put this on my resume.
I see now why it's magician and former spokesperson for Crayola is on there before Porky's acting.
Well, how about we test that theory? It may look like I'm holding just a cough drop, but actually that's a single coin.
I feel like I want to just call all bad actors at this point former Crayola spokespersons. Like, I feel like that's like the new term that I want to use, because that, like, he should bump that up on the resume, because that is less embarrassing than this.
That would probably be my first thing on the resume, just because it's so fucking ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So the boys end up making on this new brothel business around $30,000, which more than covers whatever stupid amount of money they needed. I didn't care about the numbers of any of these things. Who has the numbers? I know one of you does.
It was $25,000 and some change that they found out that it was owed. I know the first night they made $9,406 and some change, and then after the second night they had made over $21,000. So, but one thing we missed on that second night, there was a phone call made that they didn't hear because of all the wild partying going on.
Yep.
The uncle called and said he was going to return early because something was canceled. So he's coming back early and nobody heard.
Yes.
So that's kind of an important plot point, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Very important.
Party. Uncle Howard. Oh, shit.
Fuck, there's his uncle.
That doesn't make any sense, though. Like, he said, like, the trip was cut short. You're on a cruise. There's no cutting it short. The boat's fucking gone. It comes back when it's supposed to come back.
I got the impression that he got off at one of the ports, met two ladies that he fell for, and never got back on the boat.
We got off on this island, and you know what? No one was wearing clothes.
Oh, it must have been awful.
It was, at first. But I got used to it, and after a while, my cruise ship left, and I was all alone.
I like that one. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what it's explained, but that does not match up with the phone call. The phone call, he's just like, hey, trip's cut short, I'm coming back.
Well, my trip's been cut short, and I'll be home in a few days now. Be sure to use the disinfectant.
Like, no, you stayed at port too long, which they warned you, like, fucking do not come back to the boat.
He cut his own trip short.
Yeah, somehow he came back. He's lucky he came back to the States at all. But yeah, that's like on the phone call is like, yeah, something like, you know, the captain had to cut it short. Something bad happened. Like, no, you're just a dumbass.
He definitely had a fun sex vacation. And that fun sex vacation has completely changed Uncle Howard because now he doesn't care about any of the vases, and he just says, all I love is sex now, and I don't care about the fact that you broke all of my antiques, so all is forgiven. Yay.
Yeah, and he already knew. Yeah, he said he already knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already knew.
He made it sound like he was watching the webcams.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe the great editor accidentally edited out a very good plot point that they had a website.
Yeah. To me, it made it sound like that Uncle Howard was watching the webcam stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how he knew.
You know, he's a rich guy. He might have cameras up in his house already that they didn't fucking see.
Yeah, it's true.
Not that.
Isn't it a little weird? Maybe don't watch your nephew banging chicks or trying to? Like,
well, yeah,
I don't know.
I was like, you don't really got to worry about that with Pee-wee because he's not really banging chicks. He's just kind of having awkward moments with them. But
yeah,
maybe he's a step nephew.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, you stuck step nephew?
I think that obviously I've had a little bit of a challenge with this movie. I enjoyed quite a bit of it, but I will say that the way that it closes out could not have possibly driven me any more crazy. After they no longer owe Uncle Howard any money, Pee-wee is like, let's party to celebrate. And everybody's like, no thanks. And then they push each other into the pool. The boys push each other into the pool. It's very homoerotic because it's just the three boys wrestling in the pool. And they're like, yeah, whoa. I could not have hated that more.
Mm-hmm. I hated the way the movie ended. Hey, we're off scot-free. And they get to keep the money. They get to do... I don't know.
No repercussions.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, no repercussions. This one, I don't even think the $20,000 they did in damage here equals what the damage they did to Porky's in the first one. Not even counting the third one.
Yeah.
But no consequences to these kids at all. I still fucking hate them.
Yeah.
And I hate these worse because they are not good at acting. They're not funny.
Yeah, I guess again in that sense, this movie really does fit to form, which is that the kids are still the horrible people. They just didn't play any pranks in this movie. There's not a single prank in this movie, right?
Just one.
What's the prank?
The pool, when she went to go down on him and slipped the thing on his dick. That was it.
But that's not even the boys playing a prank. That's somebody else playing a prank on them.
And it's also kind of reminiscent of the Porkies, where the other Porkies, where they did the pool thing and tricked them into getting naked in the pool, and then the parents came back. So
the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
Yes, if you squint, that works.
God. The true end of this movie is that we get like a take on the like where are they now closing credits. So we learn that Tina is now using Meat's penis in her thesis statement to get her PhD, and Meat decided to skip out on the Navy, and he stars in Cum Dog Millionaire, which I did think was a little bit funny.
Tommy and face.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I think that's a real porno.
It's gotta be, right?
It's got to be.
If it's not, that's a missed opportunity. Tommy ends up going to Hollywood. Shelly and Vanessa are making like new little sex haven brothel-y things, and Pee-wee becomes those sex haven resorts dentist, and Uncle Howard got the clap from one of the two girls that he came back with. And I was like, that was like, they like point at the girl that gave him the clap. I was like, whoa. And also, Malcolm, speaking of editing and bad editing, those title cards were a little rough.
Yeah. They would just jankily move. It was weird. Yeah. But he was trying. God, he was trying, and he was so happy when he discovered there's a Porky's font out there. And it's almost like this is a universe where Porky's font is the only font there ever is.
Yeah.
You know, like marriage licenses, all that. It's all Porky's font. It's the only font.
So the last piece of update that we get is that Porky and Lloyd, who was like the bartender from Porky's, they finally got married. And then we get another card that says, but not in California.
Hurry up, I'm overdicked out here.
I think at the time that was the battleground for gay marriage back then, because like the Mormons from a couple states over were pumping money in to stop it.
It sure was. And I was like, did you just make me sit through this entire movie for a political message? That's how you're ending this? I couldn't believe it. I was just in utter shock. It was like, it was, this movie is so absurd. It's so absurd. It's incoherent. The plot is incoherent. It feels like all of the actors were recruited from like the back of a bowling alley. Like that's where I feel like I am sort of. It is. Oh my God, it's like community theater. This is like a community theater production of the original Porky's that was written by a 20-year-old.
Well, you said they had very little time to film this. Any chance they went into like a random improv and said, hey, I need 3 guys?
It sounds like maybe they went to a magic show and said, hey, I need 3 guys. That's also
and 2
possible,
volunteers
right?
from the office, from the audience.
Real quick, I looked it up. There is a movie starring Leah J. Come Dog Millionaire. So, all right, it exists.
I am glad to hear that. So I feel like we both missed everything that has happened in this movie, and also we have talked about it entirely too much. Are there any points of this movie that you guys want to hit before we talk about our final thoughts relating to it?
One more thing about this movie that fucking bugged me. So
yes.
at the end, you mentioned what happened to Meat. Like he decided not to go to the Navy. He mentions that earlier when he's talking to the porn star, how he's supposed to go to the Navy, he's already enlisted, and now he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You already enlisted. It's too late. You can't change your fucking mind. You're locked in. And then he goes AWOL. That's not just... They don't just say, oh, okay, I guess you don't go to the Navy. You go to fucking prison. It's a big deal. Especially if you're starring in a movie and your fucking name is everywhere. Like, they're going to fucking find you. When people were dodging the draft for Vietnam, like they were leaving the country, you can't just stay here and live your life. All right, I'm done.
You know, he would be a scary person to see in the showers in prison.
Oh, you fuck. He would run that motherfucker.
That's fucking tripod over there.
You know, prison might actually might not be that bad for him.
He seems Italian, so he'll fit into that way. And he's got that dick. That's a threat right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, keep it up, I'm going to fuck you with Meat's dick.
Oh my God. This is so stupid. It's so stupid. I really wanted to like this more. I like the 2000s sex comedies. You know, we've talked a little bit about other 2000s sex comedies in the past. We talked about The Girl Next Door over on your guys' channel. I like this genre of like not that great. Like it's a little schlocky, I guess. There's not a lot of plot. There's just a lot of boobs. There's just a lot of dumbness. I kind of like that. I struggled with this one, clearly. So I would love to hear what you guys would rate this movie out of 7 thumbs up. So if there are no volunteers for going first, I will pick one of you. And
I don't mind going first if you want me to.
Yeah, that would be great.
I'll just say I hate Malcolm so much for letting us know that there was a fourth one.
That makes me so happy that you said that.
There's really not a lot good to say about Malcolm. I would rather be tortured by more of the fucking videos you bring than watch this again. It was that bad to me. We did get lots of titties and no dick, so other than the big ass fake one, so that's good. Thank God this time. The acting was terrible. The story was not good. I was even ready to give it 1 thumbs up though, just for the couple of times it made me laugh, like with the mom and the fucking glory hole. But then the way that they ended the movie with Porky, where he was all of a sudden nice, he gave the money back, and he's like, "Oh, you do what you will, baby, but I just want you to live." Fuck that. That's not Porky. And then he married his bouncer. What the fuck? This fucking movie is stupid.
Yeah, Porky's gay.
Where did that come from? He's got two kids apparently over multiple decades. But literally, I don't know how you normally rate this. I give no thumbs up. I would give negative if you would let me.
God,
watching this, I wanted to text Malcolm so bad and just tell him.
Should have.
Man. But I'll be honest with you guys, wasn't the worst movie that I reviewed this week, so that'll be fun.
Well, I can't wait for that.
I have to tell you right now, I don't think I've ever seen Malcolm smile bigger than watching you say how much you hated this movie. There was like a pure joy in his face over that. It's too much excitement.
Oh.
Yeah, we kind of enjoy torturing each other with stuff. So I show like little 5-10 minute videos at best. He got me with an 1.5 hour long fucking snuff film here. This thing was fucking awful. I would, you know what? This is saying a lot. I'd rather watch Passion of the Christ again than watch this.
That was a snuff film. Leave him alone.
I'm too Jewish for this conversation. I feel so persecuted.
That's one thing I've never heard a Jewish person say. I'm too Jewish.
You should like the movie
we
then.
Can't help it. Yeah, I know, right? All right. I'm back in. I'm back in. All right.
Jews. We're number one.
Okay, so now I'm at least feeling all of the wonderful KKK stuff that we got from Porky's 2. I feel so invigorated by Jesus Christ. All right.
Yeah, that's why I brought him up.
Yep, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. All right, 7 thumbs up is our maximum number of thumbs. Somebody else give me a thumb rating so I can never think about this ever again.
Okay, I'll go. Porky's Pimpin' Pee-wee is a glorious, awful alternative universe where Brian, the diabolical master behind the original Porky's, never schemed his way into Angel Beach High. The result? A shoddy made, poorly written fever dream of crude humor and wacky hijinks. Wacky. That somehow hooks you. This cinematic train wreck, you just can't stop watching, leaving you giggling at the absurd while wondering why you're so entertained. I would only recommend this to someone who grew up with the original. 4 out of 7 thumbs, only because I was so engaged to see what the editor learned.
What a weird reason to like a movie, but I love it. I love it.
It's like, look, I can make the dicks go across the screen.
All right, Big C, hit me with it.
This movie's rough, to say the least, but it is consistent with the rest of the franchise because it's fucking terrible. The film jumps from scene to scene too quickly, especially in the beginning. Like, you saw those wipes every 10 fucking seconds. Calm down. The plot is stupid, and nothing matters. The conflict never comes to a head. Fuck these movies. I'm so glad to be done with these. So fucking glad. 1 thumb. Fuck you.
So beautiful.
to me.
I did like it better
Porky's?
than 2, so there's that. I mean, there was boobies, and I laughed at least once, maybe twice. So
Okay, so now that we have seen all of these movies, that's the next thing that I want to get is, do we have a ranking for order of favorite to least favorite? I would love. Actually, I didn't even give. Let me give my 7 thumbs up, and then I'm not
7. Jesus. 7. Somebody loved it.
Let me start over. Why has this one been? It's funny. Usually, I will have a little bit of alcohol before we start recording things because I'm not usually up this late at night. I have drank 0, and I feel like I'm drunker than ever because of this movie. Like, this is so stupid. Okay. So out of 7 thumbs up, I am leaning more with Malcolm on this one. I think I would give this like a 3 out of 7 thumbs up. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but I kind of enjoyed watching it. Would I ever watch it again? Absolutely not. A lot of great boobies, some funny moments. Could it have been funnier? Yeah, it definitely could have been. But I didn't hate it. I more than suffered through it. It was fun. All right, let's talk about let's talk about our rating of the films, of the 4 films in the series. Jay, you want to start out by telling me your order of favorite to least favorite of all of the Porky's movies?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll obviously I said it before, the first one is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time, and I know that's a nostalgia bias with it, but even going back and watching, I still laughed. I watched it with the wife, she laughed. So still enjoy the first one. Second one was not as good as I remember, so oddly enough, I think the third one ended up being a hell of a lot better than the second one. I mean, it should have just been the sequel, and they should have called it there. So 1, Revenge, Next Day, and then Porky's 4. I would even watch Next Day again at some point, just because it's part of the original series. And if nobody's ever watched it, I'd watch it with them. You couldn't bribe me into watching this. Like, I don't think there's anything that can given to me to watch this again. It's fucking terrible. Hated it. But if anybody on your channel wants to watch it, I think we might be able to keep it on our drive for a couple of weeks, and they can ask us and we can share it real quick so they can download it out. Awesome. And if they want to watch it, boom. If not, I don't blame them.
A glowing review, unsurprisingly. All right, so wait, your order is 1,
3, 2,
2, 4? Okay.
Yep.
All right, Malcolm, what about you?
Yeah, I remember being I was less impressed with the first one when I reviewed it, but I would have to agree with Jay. It's 1, 3, 2, and 4. I mean, there was something I liked about all of them, but if I had to order, it would have to be that.
All right, Big C, are you going to surprise me in any way here? I feel like you always surprise me the most.
Yeah. Deviating fucking real hard from these two.
Yep.
3, 1, 4, and then 2.
Oh.
Okay.
I agree completely with Big C.
Hey.
I don't know. This one was just so bad. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
It's bad.
It's every 2000s.
Far worse.
Well, this was every 2000s sex comedy, which was usually pretty good. You know, the American Pies, I say not another teen movie. I guess that was 90s, but you got like your random sex comedies and stuff. But this one took what should be a funny premise and did nothing with it. They weren't funny. I think even a better casting job could have done this well. I mean, Pee-wee wasn't even like Pee-wee. He was the same height as all the other guys. So it wasn't, not meat, but he was the same height as Tommy, where Pee-wee was actually a smaller guy. They just didn't do anything for casting here. Like I said, it seems they popped into a random place and said, hey, I need 3 guys. Let's go.
Yeah.
This one I did not like it.
I think that we can all at least sort of agree that 2 and 4, if you're going to skip anything, skip 2 and 4.
So we basically kind of fucked you on this one by giving you these two.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that earlier today, and I was going to not make fun of you guys for it. But yes, you're right. I had to watch the crappy movies and edit the crappy movies for my channel. And now all I'm going to see when I'm editing this review is that stupid dip in her forehead and think about you coming on it. So I hate you all is what's happening now. Not really. I love you guys, and it's great working with you.
Hey, all I took out of that is Lucy's thinking about me coming.
Yes, that is the perfect response. Yes, that is. I'm going to think about it for so many hours while I edit this video and try to make
I'll think about that for 3 minutes later. You know what I mean? Couple hours. I don't need that.
This is my new favorite. A big C, I'm with you here that it was not fun to watch all of these movies, and I'm glad that we're done, but I'm also really sad that we're done with these movies because this has been a real joy, and I have been looking forward to talking with you guys more and more. I would love it if you guys would let everybody know where they can find you, give everybody the lowdown of what are some of the exciting things you're doing, what they can expect to find, because you guys are great, and I love working with you.
Oh, you're the best. So, you can find our show let me start over. Holy shit.
Yeah, start over. Do it again.
You can find all the links for our show at our link tree, which is linktr.ee/Pornstache Podcast. Podcast comes out on Thursdays, damn near anywhere you find your fucking podcasts. I mean, anywhere. And yeah, we discuss porn, weird sex-related news stories, sex stuff in general, relationship stuff. We got several fun segments that we do repeatedly. One of which we're getting real hard into is our Bitch of the Week segment. We have a lot of fun with that. So yeah, check us out Thursdays everywhere. And watch us on YouTube. Malcolm puts in some good work over there. So, yep.
And of course, that will all be linked down below. Make sure to go and follow Pornstache Podcast because you guys are truly doing some amazing stuff. I always really, really enjoy it. And again, it's so great working with you. Thank you guys so much for talking with me about Porky's, Pimpin, Pee-wee. And thank you guys all for listening. And happily, there are no new Porky's movies coming out. Let's all pray for no Porky's 5. Howard Stern does Porky's. Well, we have to now. If another one comes out, we have to watch it.
We can't not.
Yeah.
Let's all pray. A lot of great boobies,